One of the things that clients want the most is opportunities to practice English. It's one of the reasons why people join a language school, so that at least for a few hours a week, they find themselves within an English-speaking environment. This is a great initiative, and it can be very helpful, of course. But as a classroom teacher myself, let me say to you what I always tell my students, and that is that attending lessons a few hours a week is never going to be enough to take you to a level of English where you feel comfortable and satisfied with your ability to manage and express yourself confidently and fluently. Of course, most teachers recommend reading in English and listening to English, and that's all fine and good too. These are things that you need to do in addition to attending your lessons. I have a video with a 30-day action plan to improve your English on your own, which I'll leave a link to right here. But what I want to share with you today is something that I did a couple of weeks ago that got me thinking, you know what? If my clients did this on a regular basis, if they just decided to do this one thing that I'm going to share with you today, then there would be this huge inner shift, inner transformation that could really help you move forward and feel confident and articulate when you engage in English in any situation. Because at the end of the day, whether we're learning English for social purposes or for business purposes or for academic purposes, what most of us want is to make friends, right? We want to be able to speak with people and learn from them and teach them what we know. We want to network, create interaction, and have friends. So come with me now as I take you on a little tour of Mexico City, where I live, and how I found myself speaking English spontaneously beyond the teaching context. If we haven't met yet, my name is Tanya Meyer, and I am an English as a foreign language teacher to adults, specializing in mindfulness practices to help bring clarity, understanding, and joy to your English acquisition and use, so that at any given moment when you need to speak in English, you're able to do so confidently, fluently, because English is there. English is already there, you're already used to interacting with people, and you can just switch from your language to English easily without hardship. That is my mission. Okay, so my friends Diana and Lucia, who both live in the US but in different parts and don't know each other, coincidentally came to Mexico at the same time. And Diana asked me if I wanted to join her and her friends on a tour of an area of Mexico called Xochimilco. And I said yes, and I invited Lucia, who is originally Mexican, and she said yes too. So it was all set up. And we went to Xochimilco, but not for the usual tour. Okay, so this area is in the south of Mexico City, and basically it's a series of waterways and canals, and there are these kind of Venetian-styled barges or boats that are moved along by punters. So a punt is a very long pole that people use to propel the boat forward, as they do in Italy. But here in Mexico, it's different because the barges are much bigger than they are in Italy. They have a different shape, they're very colorful, and also it's where people go to celebrate things. And so this area becomes very crowded over the weekends, and there are people partying. There's a lot of music, mariachis, color, people, just enjoying themselves. And this tour that my friend Diana, Lucia, and other people went on was completely different and very surprising. So it was an early start, and there were about 10 of us all together. In addition to Diana, her two friends, Lucia and myself, there was NG from the UK, who I shared a kayak with, and two other couples who went on another kayak. One of the couples was from the US and another from the UK. So our entire tour was in English, and it was from 9 o'clock in the morning to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it included lunch. We started on one of the larger canals, but soon rode into smaller, calmer waterways. Next thing we knew, we were surrounded by the quiet and, dare I say, sacred stillness of nature, while several cranes, egrets, and gigantic herons kept us company along the way. We rode on for about an hour, observing the rich flora and fauna of the area as we made our way into smaller and smaller canals towards the self-sustainable reclaimed piece of land called Chinampa, used for agriculture. Once we arrived and disembarked, we roamed the small fields and were given an in-depth lesson about Xochimilco's history, dating all the way back to pre-Columbian times. And the lesson included information about the many endemic species that live in the area, including rodents, bats, marsupials, birds, insects, snakes, spiders, and of course, the lovable Mexican salamander, the axolotl, which is only found in Xochimilco. After our lesson, we went to the fields and we were invited to plant a small shoot from the nursery into one of the bigger fields and then give it a name. After this activity, the group enjoyed a simple but tasty lunch made with local products, and this is where we were able to interact with one another, ask questions, ask each other what we do, talk about ourselves, and just make friends in a natural and authentic way. We were all interested in questions of sustainability. We were all interested in learning how these chinampas had been created, what they were used for in other areas of Xochimilco, and basically none of us, not even the people who live here like myself, were familiar with this aspect or this area of Xochimilco that grows food and flowers to distribute within Mexico City itself.
The same is the idea of this chinampa. This chinampa should be able to sustain itself by itself. In order to get to that, we have some rules. The first rule is no chemicals, no fertilizers, anything like that. Only things we can make and produce ourselves or get from the surrounding environment. That means for fertilizers, we only have the soil rich on organic matter from the bottom of the lakes, the mud of the canals, and the compost piles. We have several compost piles, some here and some in the back, because, well, they take a couple of months to be ready. But anything organic that we get off the chinampa goes to the compost pile. We cut the grass, compost pile. The carrizo structures broke down, compost pile.
And call the spirit to this world in November month. This is very important because, this flower, it's very important in this farm because it's a natural repellent. Control many pests in this area. For example, many bugs and many insects hate the flavor and hate the smell of this.
Okay. One. Careful. There you go. There you go.
So tell me, have you ever taken an off-the-beaten-track tour of your city or town? Comment below and tell us about it. Okay, so while I sat at the front of our little kayak on the way over to the Chinampa, it was Engie's turn to sit at the front on the way back.
There might be a good quantity of fish over there.
Oh, look, they're having a meeting.
Yeah.
trying to win, huh?
Well, because idea is a snail.
Yeah, exactly. And when we have too many people, that's my sighted guide if someone else is rowing.
Fit, where it's like hard to maneuver, or
I didn't listen to that, sorry. Well,
the trajineras couldn't get to where we went, or it's
yeah.
hard to maneuver, you gotta pull it along.
No, actually you're really nearby the pier to the trajineras. As it is.
Yeah, you rent the trajinera for 500 pesos.
Okay, so here's how it all comes together. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that many of my clients wonder how they can put their English skills into practice in the context where they are. Most English learners do not live in an English-speaking country because, of course, if you move or if you travel to an English-speaking country, you get the full immersion experience. And of course, it's true that your English will progress quickly when that happens. But if, as is the case most times, you live in a non-English speaking country and you want to improve your English skills, then this is something that you can do. Because it's all fine and good to practice English in the safe environment of the classroom. But then when it comes to really using English out there in real life, the words aren't there, right? This is what clients report to me. They feel that they need vocabulary, that their grammar isn't good, and the resulting experience is one of frustration. All that time I invest in my English lessons, and then I get out there and I can't speak. So here's my top tip. Decide to be a user of English right there, wherever you are. Become an expert in things that interest you about your city or town in English. How? By signing up to an Airbnb local tour in English. Here, let me show you. Okay, so here's what I did. I did a search on Google, Airbnb tours, Mexico City, and I just scrolled down here. And then things to do in Mexico City, 5-star authentic experiences. So let's click on that. Unforgettable. So you can explore this, but then it says here happening tomorrow, and there are 172 things happening. So I clicked on that. And then it turns out that you can filter by price, right? So depending on how much you want to pay, let's say a maximum of $40. Okay. Language offered, let's make it English. And here we have 43 experiences that we can choose from in English under $40. So welcome coffee, Mexico City for girls, gays, and theys. Okay, botanical tour. This is an allotment, communal allotment, market and quesadillas in Colonia Roma. Apparently this is in English. Historic downtown. Make dead bread with Granny. Taste the best coffee, vegan food tour, interesting and beautiful Mexico, and so on. And all of these options are within Mexico City and under $40. So, I mean, I would definitely look into this as an option for practicing, real life English with English speakers, whether they're native or not. And also, I'm learning something new. I'm learning something new, but within a familiar context because I'm within, my own territory. And so this is definitely something that I would explore. See what I mean? Look, speaking English confidently and fluently is much more about a psychological shift an inner transformation than it is about struggling with grammar and learning vocabulary. This is why I created my program, you know? Because I know what it's like to agonize over something and get no results. And I also know what it's like when there's an inner transformation and things just start to flow. And that's what I share with my clients. How to get over all these mental obstructions and start being the potential English user that you already are. Okay? So that's it for today. I hope it's useful. Let me know in the comments. And remember to download your very own copy of my free guide, How to Revolutionize Your English, which is packed with ideas and suggestions like this one to help you overcome the intermediate plateau and feel much more at ease, relaxed, and articulate in English. I'll leave a link down in the description box below for you to pick up. And I'll see you in the next one, where I'll be speaking about the similarities and differences between Halloween and All Saints' Day and the celebration that Mexico is most famous for in the world, Dia de Muertos. See you then. Bye for now.